So I thought we would do a video today where we kind of clarified a couple of things with regards to a few news items from this week. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you guys are new here, we're going to be discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville. For those of you guys who don't know, we're going to be discussing Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we also got a little bit of like random tea from another show that we didn't, some things that we may have not known that the Brat just kind of released. So we're going to get into that. All right. So stick around for that. Let's talk Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we know that Marsau was arrested. Okay. This happened on at 7:31 a.m. on June 28th. He was booked on charges of third-degree simple assault, harassment, and an alias writ arrest for a misdemeanor. Then he was released from custody at 9:58 a.m. Okay. Now, the harassment charges were initiated by the Huntsville Police Department. The alias writ arrest lists the Madison County Sheriff's Office as the arresting agency and carries a $600 bond. Now, I want to get into exactly what the charge is for and who it is not against. Okay. So on Monday Night Live, Carlos King did clear up some misconceptions. He says that number one, we are filming the current season of Love and Marriage Huntsville, which we knew. And then he says, number two, I do want to say this for the record because I know a lot of assumptions are out there. I can't say much because we are filming, but one thing I do want to say is that the harassment part, due to the history of that word, has nothing to do with his wife, Tisha. And I'll say that. Okay, because I want to make sure that people aren't thinking that there's some harassment in their marriage. There isn't. Right. He then says, we are filming. You'll see more when the season airs, but I'll say this much. Based on what I was told, I did speak to Marsau. He is fine. It is definitely a situation where once he is able to explain it, I think all of you guys will be like, got it. Okay. So then Claudia Jordan chimes in and says, sounds like a fight. Third degree. Is that like a bar, like a fight in a bar? Carlos responded, you are a journalist. Hey, Portia. Yes, allegedly. I don't know. Claudia then asked, Carlos said it wasn't his wife, but was it a woman? Carlos answered, the police did not arrest him in regards to something with a woman. In terms of that, no. Okay. So I would say that we probably won't have long to wait before we find out exactly what happened. But I would also not be surprised if it didn't take up until the new season to find out what happened either. Okay. Um, I don't know. If you go down deeper into the articles, you read about all of the arrests with the cast members on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and you kind of just have to wonder, like, dang, bro, like, how? Like, how does this just keep happening to y'all? Like, this is crazy. So anyway, that's what we know thus far. And I did want to come back and let you guys know that in case you had not seen this elsewhere, because I do think that it's important that if we talk about a situation that we see it through to the end. If there's new information, then we talk about it and we kind of cover that too. Now, in that same regard, I do want to clear up something that Angela has let us know. And a shout out to our friends over at the NoteChaserTV Instagram page for catching this as well. Now, Angela, in a previous post, we talked about how she said this. Now, I'm going to zero in on this post from the Bravo Shade Room where she talked about how the couple that she actually brought into this mix on the show were clout chasers. Then she says, funny how me hiring a private investigator and asking questions somehow turned into a manufactured storyline for somebody chasing a moment. So for me, when anybody who reads this, when they read what she says about funny how me hiring a private investigator and asking questions somehow turned into a manufactured storyline, the way the way that sentence is positioned is as though the private investigator and the asking of the questions are the facts of the matter. And then it turned into, quote, something that is manufactured, i.e. not true. So if you're going to do a this, then that in the statement, we're going to take what you say as fact right here, right? Still, again, I really had caution for Angela to just stop posting on social media because I don't know that what she sees as defending herself is actually digging a bit of a deeper hole that is just it just creates more confusion. If this is the story that you are going to tell on the television, then let it play out to the fullest before you try to do damage control, because there's nothing to control at this point. It's already out there. The woman has basically said, you asked questions, she didn't give you any information. There it is. It came from you. You said that she slept with George. Point blank, period, the end. She says that she did not. Now we know what happened. Leave it there, right? Sometimes you just got to take the L on some of these things, especially if you create the situation. So then she says, I never hired an investigator. I was accused of hiring one. You can go watch again on Peacock. So maybe there is something that occurred in the episode on Peacock. I did watch the episode on Peacock. I did not recall hearing anything about a private investigator. I heard investigations. Why are you investigating me? That is what I heard from Shamia. Now, unless I heard wrong, somebody let me know. Prompt me in the chat if you feel like I need to go back and watch the episode again. But again, Angela is just a bit confusing to me in terms of the dialogue that we see here on the X. So y'all, I just wanted to clear that up, because if this is what she's saying, I'm just going to rock with it because I have no other choice at this point. But based on her previous statements to me, that's how most of us took that. But I'm glad she's clarifying it, because someone asked, WTF is you hiring a private investigator for Shamia for? You are overly obsessed. That's sick ASF. Okay. Meanwhile, Ashley, the aforementioned wife, posted this. She said, meanwhile, the Byrams don't need a show to validate our lifestyle. And if making the cut was supposed to elevate you, it didn't do much. Your front lawn is taller than me and full of weeds. Do better, neighbor. Now, if Ashley and Mr. George, aka Crash for Cash, are indeed clout chasers, the storyline between these neighbors is actually a bit more amusing to me than what is actually happening on the show. Now, no offense, but I would rather see this type of neighborly shade that your front lawn is taller than me and full of weeds. I actually find this more amusing than the setup of a storyline involving Shamia allegedly messing with this man, Mr. Crash for Cash, for his cash. So I don't know. Angela, you might have just done them a solid and gotten them on the show. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Meanwhile, at least you know if you hired Ashley, you have a husband who is willing to be on TV. Okay. So there is that clarity. Y'all remember the show Deb's House? Mm-hmm. Let me know if you remember it, because I did recap this show. All right. I recapped it and I was interested in it. I was invested in it. I wanted to know all the goings on with it. Right. Because I love hip hop. I love music in general. Right. Well, we recapped the show and Deb Atney was at the center of this. It was on All Black, WeTV, and I loved it. I loved it. I was hoping that we get a season 2. But if you head on over to So Brat, what you hear is a little bit of a scandal. Oh, yes. Apparently, according to Brat, I'm going to say allegedly, because I'm just going to believe Brat at this point. Brat says that this was an idea that she and Deb were actually pitching to the network because they wanted a show that was in this vein. And so they were pitching this type of show with, I guess, a very similar same concept. But when it came down time to actually greenlight the show, it didn't get greenlit. So I'm assuming sometime later, there is renewed interest with trying to get this show off the ground and greenlit. And when the Brat makes a call to find out, like, hey, what are we doing about this? How can we get this thing going? She finds out that Deb Atney is actually in the office pitching said show on her own. Listen, when I tell y'all, you would just never know the behind the scenes of this world of entertainment and how things get put on the air and how ideas like this, when you are working with other people, can be, you just have to be really careful. That's what I'll say. You have to be really extremely careful about your creative IP, your ideas. Now, you can actually see the Brat talking about this on episode 21 of the Brat and Judy's show. Now, I'm assuming these episodes are on Facebook, if I'm correct, but that's where you can see Brat and Judy. So definitely check that out. But I just was fascinated because I was like, ooh, that's crazy. To have the whole show that you have put your blood, sweat, and equity into, and you're thinking that you're working with somebody and you're thinking like, oh my God, we about to get this thing popping. And then to find out later that, oh, it's being pitched, but you're not a part of it. That is wild. That's really, really wild. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Did you guys watch Deb's House? And what did you think of it? And what do you think of it now in retrospect? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's all the news that we got for y'all today. We'll keep it short and sweet. Make sure you guys keep it locked onto the channel. Subscribe to this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely do that. Like this video because liking is free. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down, all of that good stuff. Get into the comments and let me know your thoughts. Also, if you guys haven't checked out our faceless content blueprint, check that out. It's a full course. It's like an hour and you are out and you are ready to go and get started with building your faceless content. I basically show y'all how to make the videos. So you can just literally go and do exactly what I did and modify it, give it your own little twist or whatever. I'm telling you, I've been doing this since what, 2020? I started in 2020. I started on this channel in 2019. And then I started my first faceless channel in 2020. It wasn't really called faceless back then. It was just, I was just making content where I didn't show my face. Anyway, so if you're interested in that, the link will be in the description or in the pinned comments down below. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.